Today on the Travel Magazine, Vietnam, a country of traditional charm and beauty, taking its first steps into the modern world. We'll have a rare opportunity to see the sublime beauty of this country's natural setting. We'll explore Bali, a painted backdrop to paradise with its sculpted rice fields, lush and lively forests, ritual dances, and exotic delicacies. We'll plunge into one of the natural wonders of the world, Australia's Great Barrier Reef. And you'll see typical sights and not so typical modes of transportation, like this army duck ride. Hi, I'm Jake de Boer.
And I'm Mieke de Boer, and welcome to this edition of the Travel Magazine.
The most northern city of Queensland, often called the Sunshine State in Australia, is Cairns. On its doorstep is the awe-inspiring Great Barrier Reef, almost 1,300 miles or 2,000 kilometers long. It is also home to thousands of species of fish and marine life.
Come and explore with us the Great Barrier Reef and visit the Aboriginal village set in the middle of the rainforest and see them play the didgeridoo.
Our journey begins in Cairns, the heart of the tropical north and the gateway to northern Australia. Cairns is a modern, sophisticated city, surrounded by long, white beaches. But of course, the main attraction is the magic that is the Great Barrier Reef.
The Great Barrier Reef is about 1,200 kilometers long. It's about, say, in American terms, from about San Francisco to Los Angeles. Area-wise, it's half the size of the state of Texas in the US, or the size of UK and England combined. It's made up of 2,900 reefs, different reefs, so it's not one continual reef. It's got a diversity of marine life that equals anywhere else in the world. It's very diverse, and it's very important to keep it in good control. If we didn't have the Great Barrier Reef, we wouldn't have the beaches we have on the northern coastline of Cairns, because we wouldn't have a barrier to the waves and the storms that come in. The catamarans are designed for comfort and luxury and speed. They're quite stable, very stable in sort of rough conditions, so in any sort of weather you can get out to the reef. It's just a very convenient and luxurious way to get to the reef rather than a small boat in case you get seasick or you don't like the water. It takes about an hour and a half to get to the pontoon, and it pulls up next to the pontoon and stays there the whole 3 hours you're on the reef.
On board is a fully equipped supply of scuba gear. If you're not an experienced diver, this is the perfect setting in which to learn. After checking everything with dive buddies, it's time to take the plunge. The water is crystal clear, and through our masks, we see an underwater fairyland of brightly colored fish and coral. On the surface, the Great Barrier Reef is accompanied by the oldest living rainforest in the world. Let's take a ride above the trees.
Skyrail is relatively new in Cairns, and it's an amazing experience. For the first time, instead of being in the rainforest, you can be above the rainforest and see what's happening on top of the trees. So by going up the gondolas, you can see right underneath you what's going on, what's happening on the top of that canopy, because the rainforest is an amazing environment.
We further explore the lush environment with an army duck tour.
We have the army duck tour, which is unique. You can only have an army duck tour in the rainforest here at Rainforest Station. We have a fleet of 1940 model army ducks from World War II, and we take people through the forest on land and water so they can get a bit of an experience of what the forest in this area is all about, what it's like. And the driver explains a bit about the plants and animals along the way.
They get in the monsoon season about 3 meters of water. That's about 10 or 11 feet. Can you imagine in a matter of a few months? Anyhow, we're going out of the water now, so hold on.
Good,
And hold on tight.
I am.
Okay. Let's go. In the middle of the rainforest is an Aboriginal village where we'll listen to the music of the didgeridoo.
It's the oldest woodwind instrument in the world. It's basically just a hollowed out piece of tree or log or branch that they blow through to create the sounds of the dreamtime. We have a unique theatre with our dance troupe, Palmagiri, which is set in the rainforest. There's no other theatre that I know like it. Palmagiri is an Aboriginal word meaning silent snake. And what they do is give people an introduction to the culture.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm Bill Gamal.
Hi.
How you
Hi,
going?
I'm Mika.
Mika? Okay, I'm here to teach you about the spears, different use we have for our spears. We use it for dancing. It's also used for tribal law. Okay, a couple of different ways we can throw our spears. Okay, one of the ways is by hand, and the other way is using this, a throwing stick, which in Aboriginal language we call woomera. Okay, all it is, a pin on your woomera, hole in the end of your spear, fits in like so. It's just an extra leverage to your arm. Okay, you can throw up to 120 meters using it with the woomera.
You or me?
Me. Yeah, I'll give you a demonstration now.
Okay. What do you call that?
Woomera.
Woomera.
Can I try it with that?
Jake, why don't you use this one? Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Out of the way.
Okay, that's it.
I was hiding.
I know you were.
We have a unique wildlife park which is all undercover. Doesn't matter what the weather conditions are, you can go through and see everything that you're expecting to see. You've got wombats and kangaroos, koalas, crocodiles, snakes, all the things that you expect to find in Australia, all in the one spot with a guide to take you through and explain a bit about them.
When we return, it's off to the 5 summits of the spectacular Marble Mountains in Vietnam. And we journey to Bali from rice paddies to bat caves. And how's this for burning up the dance floor?
We will be back with more of the Travel Magazine just after this, so stay with us.
Although many Westerners still see Vietnam through the lens of war, in reality it is a country filled with captivating natural beauty and tranquil village life. Over 2 decades have passed since Vietnam was officially united, and in that time it has done a remarkable job of healing its wounds. Shaped like an elongated S, Vietnam stretches the length of the Indo-Chinese peninsula. China lies to the north, Laos and Cambodia to the west, and the South China Sea to the east. The imagery is haunting, yet beautiful. There is an innocence about the landscape and the villagers, a timeless brilliance unwavered by its tenuous history. we reach the industrial city of Da Nang. Once the central Chinese trade port of the Kingdom of Champa, Da Nang remains one of the most important seaports in Southeast Asia. The streets of Da Nang are filled with open-air markets where you can buy just about anything. Just southeast of Da Nang is the ancient port town of Hoi An. Hoi An is rich in history. In the 15th century, the Chinese established a trading post there, making it a busy center of commerce. The now quiet village retains the feel of centuries past. Its magnificent streetscapes feature a collection of almost 850 ancient structures that beg to be explored. Hoi An is a town of diverse spiritualism. In its heyday, the town had more than 60 temples. About 12 kilometers west of Da Nang lie the Marble Mountains, which are actually 5 summits made of limestone. A steep path leads to mysterious caves where you'll find Buddhist statues and altars of worship. At the foot of the mountain, artisans sculpt limestone into beautiful works of art. Each summit of the mountain is said to represent one of the 5 elements of the universe: water, wood, fire, metal, and earth. Below the Marble Mountains lies the legendary China Beach. During the Vietnam War, Da Nang's nearby beaches became a welcome retreat for recuperating soldiers. A very popular spot for locals and tourists alike, the secluded beauty of China Beach remains unspoiled. When we return, it's off to paradise, Bali, Indonesia. You'll see rice paddies, ritual dances, and lunch Bali style.
Is everybody gonna eat?
The island of Bali is so picturesque that you could be fooled into thinking it was a painted backdrop to paradise. The most powerful imagery is that of rice paddies that trip down hillsides like giant steps. Bali, Indonesia, is located on the Pacific Ocean just below the equator. Bali is well known as a paradise island and has often been referred to as the Isle of the Gods. It's a special place where a vibrant culture stems from myth and legend. It's considered to be one of the most attractive islands in the world with more than 3 million visitors a year. But despite its popularity, Bali remains unspoiled. What is the best thing to see in Bali?
That's the best sight in Bali is Kintamani, Besaki, and then the rice terrace. And so I would like to inform to you, Kupu Kupu Barong is the best restaurant in Ubud area.
And is that where we're going to have lunch?
Yeah,
Are you hungry?
I feel this is the same as well as you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Look at this. No, but look at this kind of thing.
Thank you very much. That's coffee.
Jack, forget it. You never had this before. Peanut sauce. Look at this.
for the satay.
For the satay. Look at this, how this is done.
So that's gado gado. That's mee goreng. Mika, how do you like the drink?
Oh, very nice.
Wonderful.
On Bali.
Hey, Richie.
For over 1,000 years, the Balinese have practiced a unique and ingenious system of irrigating and terracing. This has allowed them to grow an abundance of rice and thus support a very dense population. This in turn has given rise to a culture of extraordinary richness. Rice is still harvested the traditional way. Rice is more than a means of industry in Bali. It's part of the island's fabric. Wherever you travel in Bali, there's always a rice paddy nearby. We venture to Goa Lawa and its famous Bat Cave. The cave is a temple founded around 1,000 years ago. The cave is believed to lead all the way to Gunung Agung, but there are a couple of serious deterrents. First, the cave is believed to be home to an enormous snake, and second, the ceiling and entrance of the cave are covered with thousands of noisy, long-nosed fruit bats. It seems as if every Balinese has an artistic flair in some form or another. Throughout the island, woodcarvers set up shop selling their beautiful handmade creations. The village of Mas is Bali's woodcarving center. Here you can watch some of the island's finest craftsmen at work.
This area we call Ubud Monkey Forest. This is the best places of Ubud area. In this forest, monkeys is only around 40 inhabitants here. The wild monkeys. Behind of us, that is the territorial temple. We call the Dalam Ubud Temple.
And when there is a ceremony, there's no monkeys.
We believe until now, when the ceremony carried out, the monkeys suddenly gone at all. No monkeys here. You couldn't see monkeys anymore. 2 days after ceremony stopped or over, the monkeys come again. It's fantastic, really.
Dance is an important part of Balinese life. There are over 200 traditional dances. Every celebration and religious festival includes the telling of an ancient legend of good and evil. The Balinese dance doesn't include any touching. The dancers relate to each other through chants and choreography. The fire dance is a rite of passage for Balinese men, signifying strength and virility. Well, that's it for this edition of the Travel Magazine. I hope you've enjoyed our show as much as we have. I'm Jake de Boer.
And I'm Mieke de Boer, and join us again as we travel the world.
Oh,
Beautiful.
and this is something of Australia. I think everybody would love to
How
hold.
much does Charlie weigh? Is he heavy?
Yeah,
Is he
pretty-
scratching you?
No, but he has claws.